Yes. Polyfilling. Do you know what that is? Apart from what is shown on the screen, it doesn't entirely describe it. Anybody? Say something about polyfilling?
Has it to do with the shadow law?
No, it's we have a lot of standards and specifications, as we have talked about in the entire course. But these standards aren't completely implemented into the browsers. So if you want to use the latest API or latest CSS feature or something like that, we have to try to polyfill this feature into the browsers that we want to support. So that means that bringing new features into old browsers, more or less. So code that provides features that are not built into a specific browser. Typical methods of filling in the functionality gaps. Code that, according to standard APIs and test in browsers that supports all the features. We need to feature detect each of the features with JavaScript, and then we lazy load a polyfill if a feature is unavailable. So, first of all, we have this. Either we use a framework for this, because there are frameworks. We'll come back to that. So the main workflow is this. We detect whether or not a feature is there. Okay, do we have local storage in our browser? Does this browser support local storage? No, it doesn't. Okay, then we try to load this polyfill, this JavaScript for polyfilling local storage. And that's a fake local storage implementation that tries to bring local storage to browsers that don't support it. So we lazy load a polyfill if a feature is unavailable. How do we detect features in JavaScript? The details element, for example. That's an HTML element. So what we do is, first of all, we try to create this element in our DOM. Document.create element details. And then we check whether or not a property of details is available, a property that is exclusive for the details HTML. And then we check for open. So if open is a part of the element that we're creating, then we know that the details element is supported by this file. But if it's not there, we do some polyfilling. So then we lazy load a JavaScript maybe that polyfills the details element for us. Typically, polyfills you use in older versions of Internet Explorer, because Internet Explorer has always been a pain with the lack of features and so on. So that was how we did it ourselves. It's more easy to do this with for example, Modernizer, because Modernizer can detect features for us, and it's quite convenient for doing that. So Modernizer is a small JavaScript library that detects availability of native implementations of next-generation web technologies. That means features that, for example, stem from HTML5 or CSS3 specifications. Okay, so see here. First of all, we can do a test with Modernizer. Do we have geolocation in this browser? No, we don't. Then it goes to nope and loads geopolyfill.js. That maybe polyfills geolocation somehow. Or, yep, we do have it. Then we can use our original script that uses the geolocation API as it is. I suppose you have experienced that. Features that you want to use that aren't available in browsers. There are several polyfills for different features, so you can try to Google a feature next time and then you polyfill it with Modernizer or something. Yes. Any questions to polyfilling?
So if you can't find it on, can I use .com for a certain browser? You could just use polyfill instead.
Yeah, you can. If there is a polyfill for that specific feature, there are a lot of polyfills out there, and developers love making polyfills. It seems as so, not for any feature. Yes. We'll do a workshop. I need you to be of groups of 2 or 3. So if you can form groups 2 and 2 or 3 and 3. There's a group there. Group 2 here. Group. Group.
Yeah.
Yes.
3 or 2. 3. Do we have groups here? Three? And then 3. Yes. Yes, we want to build APIs, REST APIs. And we want to utilize other APIs as well in our app. The thing is, we want to build a social book review and rating service. So what we will do is get book information, because we can store the entire libraries all over the world in our computer. So we use the Google Book API to get book information. But our system should store book reviews and book ratings as well. So that our system should do. So we get books from Google Book API, and we more or less spice up the information from the book API with book reviews and book ratings. So your backend system should expose all data through a REST API. The Google Book API is documented on this link, and this is a Google Book API example. This is an open API, so you can do searches and get JSON responses. And you can quickly look at the responses that you get. I get this neat JSON serialization because I use a plugin in Chrome that shows JSON objects like they are instead of a completely large string. I don't remember what the plugin was, but you can look into it if you get this large string. But you see how the book API is and how they structure books. So what we want to do in our app is that we should be able to search for books, and if we get some match on the book, the system should find whether or not there are book reviews in our systems and embed these book reviews into the book information. Was that understandable? Yeah? But what I want you to do, because this is quite a nice separation with REST APIs and so on. So what I want you to do is form groups, of 2 or 3 participants one responsible for the client and two responsible for the server system and the REST API. And this team starts by agreeing on the REST API endpoints, methods, and data formats. Okay, so much of that is given from how the book API functions, but you have to specify how the endpoint for book reviews and what did I say? Book reviews and book ratings. You have to specify how you use this in your API. So first of all, before you do any coding at all, you find out how you want to build this API. The routes or the URLs that you're using, the responses that you get, the format of the responses, the model of your objects, and so on. Does that understand? So plan for maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes or something, and then we'll start trying to code this thing. Okay? It's in the language of your choice. The client should be in HTML and JavaScript, of course, but the server is up to you.